afternoon, everyone. Today, I'm going to make a treat for my granddaughter. Halloween is just in a couple of days, so I thought I would do her something homemade from my kitchen, and she will enjoy that. So I'm going to make some carameled apples to begin with, and I have these lovely apples that a nice friend of my son's girlfriend, Christina, that she gave me. These are fresh right out of her yard apples. They are. And we're going to make, I'm going to make carameled apples with it. Now you can go down and you can buy regular caramels. This is what they look like in a bag. There's not very many in here. In fact, I don't even know if it says how many. Just says 11 ounces. But I'm not going to make them that way. I'm going to make them the old-fashioned way. And to do that, you have to cook the all the ingredients and bring it to a hard rolling boil. But first you need to get your apples ready. And there's two ways that you can do that. You have to get the wax off of the apple. So you can put them down in boiling water for about 10 seconds, take them out and put them in a ice water bath to cool them down. That's one way. Rinse them off really well and scrub them either with, a kitchen towel or a paper towel. Or you can put them down in a big pot of really hot water with white vinegar. And that's how I did mine a little bit ago. Make sure all of your stems are off of the apples. So these are the apples that I'm going to begin with. I have a cookie sheet ready here that has some parchment paper on it, and I do kind of lightly spray my parchment paper for this particular little project. You're going to need a half of a cup of butter, which is just one stick of butter. Go ahead and put that in. I'm just using my little burner over here today, and I hope everybody can see that all right. Just move it right on over here. So we're going to melt the butter first, and that won't take very long at all. I've turned mine up to about medium high. So if you were doing this regular on your stove, just go ahead and melt your butter to begin with. That's the first thing. I don't get a lot of trick-or-treaters on Halloween where I live. I live kind of on a busy street area, but I don't know. I think they just think we're all old folks and they just don't come to see me. And that's really too bad. But I do have my little black pot ready for them with some candy in that when they do. But this is strictly for my granddaughter, this treat today, because I know that she will be stopping by my house on Halloween, and I want to make sure that she gets a nice homemade treat. She'll get the candy that I have in my little black little pot, but she'll like this a lot better too. I know she will. So I'm going to pause for just a minute while that butter melts, and I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. My butter is almost melted in here. And the next ingredient that you're going to need is 2 cups of brown sugar, which I have here. We'll pour this right in here. I like to use my double boiler. Really does help on not burning the bottom of whatever you're cooking, like in a regular pot, how it does. Make sure that stays right at the temperature I want. So we have the brown sugar and the butter in there. And now it calls for 1 cup of corn syrup, light corn syrup. And I always just use the Caro. I don't skimp on that on this ingredient. I buy the regular Caro. I don't buy an off-brand. I like to have the good stuff when I'm cooking anything. This takes me way, way back to the days when, yes, I was in the kitchen helping my mother do carameled apples. And, but once those carameled apples came, or the caramel part came out of the little packages, It was always my job to undo every single one of those little papers until Mom got the right amount of what she wanted. Okay, so it's just gonna look like this. There. Which that's gonna give it the nice caramel look. Then we're going to add a sprinkle of sea salt. So I will just, that's probably just sprinkle right there of the little sea salt. In here. Now this recipe does require a candy thermometer. This is what they look like of a candy thermometer. And I'm going to go ahead and place this in my pan now. We want this to come up to 248 degrees before I'm going to pour in some Eagle brand sweetened condensed milk. You'll need a full 14-ounce container of this. This is going to be so fun for her. She'll really like this. Okay, now on my cookie sheet, I'm going to go ahead and get the apples ready. And if you don't have popsicle sticks, which truly I couldn't even find mine right now. I have some great big huge ones, but I don't remember where the little ones are. So because these are small little apples, I'm just going to use these smaller skewers in this, and they're going to work fine. We're just going to take maybe some of these smaller ones here. Like I said, once you get that wax off, then you can work with your apples. Get them down nice and hard. My temperature's not up there yet, but it will be. Start with all these little ones. Little kids like little apples. She will like this. She will, she will. I hope everyone's having a grand day today. I had to go out and do a little bit of shopping, and still I see the stores just filled with all kinds of holiday things to buy. And because Halloween is right around the corner, they have so many cute things out right now. They really do. Really, really do. I think everyone will get a very big kick out of my next video. I'm helping my son's girlfriend, Christina, again. And she's asked me to do a little project. They're having a wonderful Halloween costume party event. And she's asked me to make something for that. So that'll be my next video. But today, I'm doing the fun little treat. So again, I may have to pause a little bit until this gets up to the temperature I need, because it has to be at 248 before I ever put the condensed milk in. So I'll be right back. I'm back, and I had to switch pans a few minutes ago. It's been a long time since I've done the old-fashioned homemade caramel part. You're gonna need, so I took it from the double boiler and put it in a regular pan on my little pan here, because I needed it to get to that roaring boil, and that's what it is now. Now I'm going to pour in my full can of the sweetened condensed milk. Get all that into this. It is very much looking like caramel of the candies. Make sure you get all the goodies of this condensed milk. When I went to the store, I thought I had 2 cans of the condensed milk in my pantry, but when I went, it wasn't there somehow. So I had to run to the store right quick. And let me tell you, condensed milk is not cheap anymore. It really, really isn't. Okay, now you want this to come up to the 248 degrees on a candy thermometer. So I'm going to go just a little bit more with that. I will go ahead and get a little hot plate out. so that I can put it on there when it gets ready. You just have to kind of keep an eye on it. It gets up there. I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Give it some flavor while it's still cooking in here. Vanilla makes it smell so good. It really does. Makes it smell good. We need this to cook where it gets real thick. And that's what I want. I want it to get real thick now. It's to this point right here. It's very pretty in the color. Looks just like the caramel candies. Looks just like these. Really does. But we need it to get thick or thicker. It's almost there. Almost. I'm going to be making this and some white chocolate ghosts for my little granddaughter. I think she'll really like that. Almost to the 248. When it gets there, then you're going to remove it from the pan of the heat. Move it from the heat. Now you can stick these apples after you get your little, whether you use a popsicle stick or like me, the smaller skewers in it. You can stick them in the refrigerator and get your apples nice and cold. I just had mine out at room temperature today. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and now put this down here. I'm going to take my candy thermometer out. This is very, very hot stuff. Very, very hot. Indeed. Okay. Now we'll just take an apple and we'll just start dipping it in. I will go all the way around with my apple. If you want to show the very top of your little apple, that part, that's fine. If you don't, cover it all. And then you're just going to sit this on this parchment paper, because that's what I got it out for, just to be in that. Now, if I want, I have some sprinkles here of Halloween sprinkles that I could dip this in and then put down. I have some that are, it looks like, oh, what did they say this was supposed to look like? They come in little jars here. It's just a black sanding sugar. And I thought that would be kind of festive too. Real fine, real fine. Put it in that, put it down on there for it to cool. And I also have for the walnuts. Nice walnuts. I can stick them in there too. And I'll just kind of keep going with this of showing, of finishing out all of these apples, of dipping them. See, I can cover the whole apple like that. I think they look a little bit more festive just having them like that. I really do. And that's the first part to my little Halloween treat. I'll move right on over into making the little white chocolate of the ghosts next. I hope you're enjoying. My next little treat that I'm doing for my granddaughter for Halloween is that I'm going to make little white chocolate ghosts. Now you're going to need a little mold for this. So this is my little mold that I have. And what I like to do is I like to very lightly spray each one, and then I'll just take a little paper towel and kind of go in there and just kind of wipe it around, just so that you know that each one of those is lightly covered with some cooking spray so that they come out. The next thing you'll need is some white chocolate. So I bought this to have, and I'm gonna say to put in probably about a cup. Now this one I can use my double boiler. Put in just whatever you think you're gonna make. If you're gonna make a double batch of these or however many, and then you're just gonna want these to melt. Now if you don't have a double boiler, you certainly can do this in the microwave at 30-second intervals. You know, put it in a nice microwavable bowl, stick it in the microwave, put it on 30 seconds, stir it, do another 30 seconds, stir it, just so that it doesn't burn on the bottom. But I like my double boiler. I'm sorry that the carameled apples didn't get as hot as what I really wanted. They're resting right now. I did a double on this one. That's kind of a no-no. So that was my trial and error on it. But truly, I did taste this. And oh my gosh, I kind of think it's even better than the regular caramel candies. You may call it caramel. I've always called it caramel. Kind of like a pecan pie or pecan pie. Tomato. Whatever you're used to. That's what you say. Don't think there's any real right or wrong to any of it. I just want to get it where it is a creamy mixture and get all of those nice little chocolate drops melted before I start putting it in my little pan. The first, I made one little batch and I liked them so well that I decided, well, you know what? I'm just going to make some more. Now, a couple ways to do this. Of course, you can either spoon it out or just pour it into your molds. I think I'm just going to start pouring in. And you want enough to fill in the mold. And then you just kind of spread it around. I didn't do mine real thick and high on this when I was doing the first batch. And then once you get them all in here nice, then you're going to stick it in the refrigerator and let these get nice and cold so that they set. Probably about an hour. You know, will be just fine. In there where they're nice and set cold. I'm going to put just a little bit more in here. So that's the little molds. I'll make a couple more of those here in just a minute. But what I did was, after I got them out of the, just kind of shake them, you get any air bubbles out of them. And what I did was, here's the cute little end result, that I put them in little sealed packages so that she can have them. So when you undo them, and you can, I didn't have any black or orange ribbon. I just grabbed whatever I had. And I just took some saran wrap and I just laid a little square piece down here. And these are the cute little molds. Aren't those adorable? Like I said, you just take some saran wrap, just kind of cover them like this where you can kind of see the little ghost in there. And take whatever string that you have, if you have nice pretty ribbon that you want to take, or maybe you have the black or the orange colored ribbon, that would be great for Halloween. I don't think my little granddaughter, Michaela, is going to mind because she'll like them just the way they are. So she is getting these, a whole bunch of these, and some fresh carameled apples, and that is going to be her nice little Halloween trick-or-treat when she comes to my door. I remember many, many years ago when I was a young girl, my dad owned a clothing store, and we lived in Vail, Colorado. And my sister and I went trick-or-treating and got all dressed up. And back in those days, you had to do exactly what the title says, trick or treat. And so we went to this one house, and the man said, well, what's your trick? My sister and I kind of looked at each other like, well, now what do? I don't think we had to do a trick. We just knock on the door and say trick or treat and get our treat like every other kid. Well, not back in those days. So we actually did a little dance, she knew tap dancing, and she did the tap dancing, and I just kind of winged it on a little cute little dance that I did. And it made that man's night. He was so happy and thrilled, and we got quite a load of candy. I do remember that. So keep that in mind. It's not all just about the candy. If you go with your kids and go up to a door and they actually say, what's your trick? You better have one handy. So from my kitchen to yours, this is wishing all of you a very happy Halloween time. Be safe out there and have fun this year. I'll catch you later on Cooking with Carol Diane. Bye-bye now.